The first bloodline, the hidden African dynasty that shaped America's elite. What if I told you that America's most powerful families, the Rockefellers, the Rothschilds, even the Kennedys, may all be connected to a secret African bloodline? A bloodline so ancient, so influential, that it shaped the very foundations of the world as we know it. From secret societies to hidden messages in America's most sacred documents, this is the story of the first bloodline, the forgotten dynasty that still controls everything. 1. The bloodline that time tried to erase. Deep in the heart of West Africa, long before European colonialism, there existed a secret dynasty known only to a few. The Adebayo line, translated as the crown of joy in Yoruba, was believed to be the ruling bloodline of an empire that controlled not just land, but knowledge. Their power didn't come from gold or weapons. It came from their ability to see the future. Some say they were descendants of an ancient race that predated recorded history. This dynasty ruled in secrecy, never letting outsiders know their true influence. But suddenly, they disappeared. Some say they were wiped out by war. Others claim they willingly vanished, blending into different nations, and waiting for the right time to reclaim their power. Yet, their influence never truly faded. It just moved underground. 2. The link to America's founding fathers. During the 1700s, whispers of this lost African dynasty made their way across the Atlantic. European secret societies, including the Freemasons and the Knights Templar, were obsessed with this ancient bloodline. George Washington himself was a known Freemason. But what if he wasn't just following a European tradition? What if his knowledge, his power, was borrowed from something older, something African? Some conspiracy theorists believe that Washington and other U.S. founding fathers secretly incorporated the teachings of the Adebayo line into American government structures. The proof? The hidden African symbols within the U.S. dollar, the architecture of Washington, D.C., and the similarities between Masonic rituals and ancient African spiritual practices. 3. The bloodline in America's elite families. The Rockefellers, the Rothschilds, the Kennedys. What if they all share a common ancestor from this lost African bloodline? Some genetic researchers have traced unusual DNA markers in elite families, linking them back to African heritage, secrets they'd rather keep buried. In the 1980s, a classified report surfaced, suggesting that at least 12 high-ranking political families in America share a unique genetic trait, one that links them to an ancient African bloodline. Why does this matter? If true, it means the descendants of the first bloodline never disappeared, they just changed their names. 4. The cover-up and the fight for control. If this bloodline truly exists, why isn't it common knowledge? The answer is simple: control. If the world knew that the original rulers of civilization came from Africa, it would shatter everything we were taught about power and history. Some believe the suppression of African history is deliberate, designed to keep the true rulers hidden. The greatest hoax ever played on humanity? Making us believe that history started in the West, when in reality, it began in Africa. 5. Could you be a descendant? Here's where it gets even crazier. DNA ancestry testing has exploded in popularity. But have you ever wondered why certain African regions remain undiscovered in mainstream genetic databases? What if modern ancestry services are deliberately concealing the truth about where some African Americans come from? Some theorists believe that African Americans, especially those descended from the transatlantic slave trade, may unknowingly carry the royal blood of the first bloodline. The big question. So now that you know the truth, what will you do with it? Will you brush it off as another conspiracy? Or will you start looking for the hidden signs all around you? Because one thing is certain, the first bloodline never died. They're still here, watching, controlling, waiting. If you think this story needs to be heard, share this video. Do you believe in the first bloodline? Drop a comment below. Subscribe for more untold truths, if you can handle them.